Oh, well, my wife, she's part of the Harris family, and she was going to Promised Land forever with her grandmother, her mother, and uh, we met, and I started to visit with her, and I became a member, and now I'm a longtime member. I was at work, and during that time, I was working on the lines and became the foreman, and I, my boss, he recognized that I was going to church a whole lot, and he said, "Man, I heard that you got a church down the street. You think y'all would like to move to another building?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "We got a building in Fraser over in Crossing that you need to be trying to look at, and we might could give it to you as a donation." I ran to the phone and called Pastor Shelton. I said, "Look, we got a church that they're trying to give us. We need to look into that." And man, with the vision of his, and we just took off, man. He's a wonderful pastor, and we just took off, and we came to look at the building, and we got it. We purchased it. To get out, find you a church home, find you a pastor that really is holy, that's going to teach you, that's going to mold you, that's going to get personal with you, because you need that. And being incarcerated, you have a lot of guys that, try to get personal with you, and you don't know how they really are, so you can't do that with them in the penitentiary. You have to use that once you get out. You get saved, but you still have to use that personal stuff once you get out. Get into the church, get into the holiness of yourself, and use what you got in you, and use that towards other guys that's getting out. Allow them to see you in a positive light. And if you got kids, they would see it. And by you getting out the penitentiary, I talk to my son about it every day. You have to make sure you don't get caught up into the things that's in the world. You have to get into your church home and stay there.
My mother, Cora B. Daniels, joined the church when I was about 2 years old. It's been about 65 years ago. Okay, on Reno, 224 Reno, at first it was a little shotgun church with a little lobby, maybe about 20 seats in there. The choir stand held about 14 people, and real spiritual church. My younger days, I was a Sunday school teacher for the primary class, assistant superintendent, usher, choir supervisor, choir member, deacon. When I was coming along, I had just my mother, but she was a solid Christian, But these days, like now, it pays, you got to have a male figure in the house, because the male should be the head of the household. And you have children, especially young males these days, if they had a father figure in their life, I think crime in the city will be a little down. But no father to help them. You see a father, I tell you, a father, you look at your father, my son, for instance, my son, he watched me. He watched me as he grew, and he turned out to be an excellent son.
I first learned about Promised Land Church through Miss Geneva Appleberry. She used to bring my children to Promised Land. I was a member of another church. So after my kids was going there, I decided to join at Promised Land. And then my sister came after me, and when I got there, I met the members, they was very friendly. Sis Calicut, Gertrude Lawns, and the Garners, and they were just friendly people, so I enjoyed being there. So all my children was baptized by Brother Jimmy Daniels. I had 4 children there, and they got baptized by him. And later on, when Pastor Shelton came, my father passed the first year he was there, and the whole half of the church was there when I got to the funeral in Hughes, Arkansas. The Callicuts, Lamont, Pastor, the Ratlips, all of them was there. So I think it's an amazing church, and I'm still here after 40 years. Because I think it's a good place for them to come up in instead of out in the streets and trying to do other things. And so that's the basic thing, is coming to church. And one of my sons, under Pastor Shelton, he preached his first sermon here. And he's going on doing other things, but this still is his home church, though. I would say Sister Calicut, Mother Gunner, Luella, we all friends, and Gertrude Lawns, and Jimmy Daniels, because I'm always talking to him a lot and stuff, and Lamont, because I just think Lamont the world of him. I think it's the basic of life, things, to be in a good church and a good background, because some people's come to church, they hear for a minute and they're gone. But I don't believe in coming and going, because you might get in some worse than where you left. So that's why I feel like, you should stay where you're at and,